Yeah. Hey Drew, what's up?
What's going on, family?
What's happening, family? We late, you live, you so good at it. I'm gonna bring you back in, you heard?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Mr. Brent, what's up, Mr. Brent?
Hey, apologies. I found the link in my junk inbox. I was wondering when you were going to contact me. So.
No, I got you all day, man. We live already, but I'm gonna bring you back into the studio
Oh, okay.
in a minute, okay?
All right, sure.
All right, sir. what's up?
Yo.
Yo. You in the village? Everything good?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain, yo.
Alright, man. I feel you. We bought it.
Sound like you got a party over there, yo.
Nah. We just chilling, man. You already know.
What's up, yo? How's everything?
Yeah.
Everything good?
I can't cry.
Can't complain?
Can't complain, my little brother. Can't complain, my little brother.
That's what's up. Blessings.
Blessings, man. Peace and love, man. I'm happy to have you aboard, man.
Yo,
We'll talk. Yeah, we here. Regular.
New installation of it all. You know?
Yeah, man. Making the movie Mondays, man. we actually have
Andrew,
and I have Mr. Brent Toombs in the back. We gonna bring him on in a hot minute. I'm waiting on Bob Mack, but we cool. Me and you can handle this. You know what we do.
Bobby Mack is bringing up the rear.
Yeah, Bob Mack is bringing up the rear. I don't know, maybe it's the dog issue again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going away. He got a bunch of
Nah, I know, man. He said he just had some puppies too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. But anyway, man. Yeah, I want to say welcome to the next episode of Making a Movie Mondays. I'm your host, CY. I'm along with my other host, Daryl. Peace. I want to say Happy Father's Day. You know, we celebrate it every day because it's an everyday thing. You feel me? I don't wait till Sunday to give thanks to God. You know what I mean? It's an everyday thing. So for Happy Father's Day every day, celebrate life every day. That's my word to everybody out here. You know. What else? I want to say condolences to one of my men, Bob, not Bob's. I apologize to Mr. Mark C. Mr. Mark C is doing heavy things. Matter of fact, I'm doing a show. We're gonna bring us some flyers a little later. I'm doing a live performance with him at the State Building. His brother-in-law passed away recently, and also to the Gladden family. We want to say, you know what I mean? Condolences to these guys out there, for real. And there's several things happening that we're going to get to in a little while, but I want to introduce both our guests. I want to add Andrew. Peace.
What's going on, fellas?
We good, family. Peace and blessings.
You got a suntan or something, yo.
Don't play with my man, yo. Don't play with my man.
He's supposed to. Shoot.
Okay, that's Mr. Brent Toombs. Before we move on, I would like to start with Andrew. Andrew, just give a little rundown about you, what you do, what's happening before we get into the things, and then we're gonna get to Brent in a minute.
Right. So, I do a multitude of things, but what pays the bills is I'm a commercial HVAC contractor by family. We have a family business that we had since the early '70s. I've now taken it over after I left corporate America. I worked for Bloomberg for 20 years, and now I work for myself. It's very fulfilling, and I do a lot of other things. I play a lot of golf, fortunately. I do a lot of social things, and I'm a grandfather. I heard you say Happy Father's Day. My grandson is 4.
Oh wow, cool. Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. So. And I recently, started my venture on working on a project that I guess we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But it's been an interesting ride, and I'd like to share it with you guys, when we get the chance.
No worries. Mr. Brent is he my man, Mr. Brent. What's up, Mr. Brent? Cool dude. You can hear me? Brent. Put your mic on, Brent. You was on a little while ago.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. You can hear me now? With your headphones on? Brent. You should be able to hear me.
Nope.
You not? Okay, what you do is go back and come back in. Put on all your mics, all your info, and come back in. Okay?
I don't think he can hear you to do that.
Oh, he's not hearing me. Okay. Go back. Yeah, I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna take him out, and I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text him. So just breathe easy. So yeah, D.
Yep.
Now, couple of questions. Let me kick Brent so he can come back in. We have lined up for you, right? We would like to know, as far as the inspirational part first. You know what I mean? Like what drew you towards sort of writing scripts and like movies and like that? What drew you to that? What drew you to that?
It's a really kind of cool story, and I was telling Daryl on different occasions, but it really spawned from just like social media, and we all play with social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, and I heard somebody say a story one time where he, Brett, you there?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I just lost audio for some reason.
Okay, turn it up a little bit because you have a little echo.
Oh, okay. You know, I'll
Yeah,
switch to some headphones.
Okay, correct. All right, then turn it down a little bit. You good? You can hear us?
Yeah, I'm still hearing you. Just give me 1 second. Just switch on my. I'll get rid of this echo by going to some headphones here in a second.
It's fun, man. Life is fun. Life is fun.
Real, you gotta have it.
Yeah, man. You gotta enjoy
Okay.
life, man. Okay, we good.
We got now.
Okay, well, I won't interrupt. I'm gonna get back to you in a minute, Brent. But I have my man on a groove right now, so I gotta catch you when I catch you. Okay, Andrew. Now, go ahead, Andrew. Now, what you were saying?
So
You were
yeah,
saying-
so basically, we're saying that we often play with social media. We always everybody's using social media nowadays for good, bad, and indifferent. I use it for fun. I like to drop comments and stuff like that. So it really came from that, where I said, hey, whatever happens if you interact with like a celebrity and they actually write back to you, or they say something back to you, comment back to you. I've gotten people say things, and you kind of get that feeling like, wow, social media really does work. So I said, what if I expanded that? So, and the guys that do know me, I think I'm funny. I may not be always funny all the time, but
I'm laughing now, so it's okay. Yeah.
so I decided to expand on that idea. Like, what if a comedy grew from that experience, where if a romantic comedy where a guy reached out to a girl and she happened to be a celebrity, and she flipped the script on him and was like, hey, why don't we actually see if we can meet and have a genuine interaction about just us playing back and forth on social media. So that's where it spawned from. I started putting pen to paper, and it just grew organically because I actually put myself in those shoes. Don't let my wife hear, but it was really my dream for me talking to Nia Long. But don't tell her, all right? And I just imagined that, what if I interacted with her? What happened? What would happen if we kicked it on some regular everyday? Let's go grab some coffee and talk.
Yeah.
And it grew from that. It grew from organically, and then we started talking about just everyday life. Hey, meet at the coffee shop. Let's talk about our everyday lives and where we are in our lives and how do we get here. And it just grew from there. So it was a real inspiration to just kind of work from there.
Okay, I'll get to the other point in a minute, but I have to introduce my host, my other host, Mr. Bob himself is in the building.
Yeah,
What's happening, my guy?
I'm good.
Don't say that. Don't say that again. Don't say those
It
technical.
had nothing to do with the stream site. It was,
Oh,
it was my
okay.
computer acting crazy.
Okay, so you and Brent is on the same page because he was having a little technical difficulty a little while ago too. So let me introduce. Before I get back to you, Andrew, let me introduce Brent, man. Brent, how are you doing, my little brother?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
All right, man. We blessed on this side. Say hello to the guys.
Peace.
Hey guys, how are you?
What's
What's
up,
happening,
Brent?
Brent?
Okay, Brent, tell us a little. You ain't got to go too deep, but tell us a little background on as far as this industry is concerned.
Yeah. So most of my experience is in the television industry. So I started my career many years ago in Canada, just working in a television station and learning kind of on the job. Never went to film school, never went to broadcast college, so I just learned on the job. And I did that for about 15 years, working my way up to I was a producer director when I left Canada in 1999, and I got this opportunity to come to Belize and work at Channel 5, and I thought, why not? I've always wanted to do something like that, so I just put everything in storage and came to Belize. It was supposed to be for 1 year, and I never left. I never left.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I did the Channel 5 thing for about 5 years total. About 3 years of it was full time, and then a couple years of part time as I sort of transitioned into running my own business. And so I have a small production company called Productionz. It's been around since 2003, and basically we do local video production, but my main sort of bread and butter is doing production support for foreign film crews or television crews that come into Belize to shoot. So they'll come in and maybe hire me on for anywhere from 3 days to a couple of months, depending on the scope of the project.
Okay, cool.
And so I work, like I say, mostly television, dabbled in a little bit of film as well, but most of my experience is in the television side of things.
We're glad to have you aboard, man. I mean, more than likely you'll be here on a regular basis. So it's just, it's cool to have you, like somebody with your experience and background on a little panel here as we move forward. You see me? Mm-hmm. Okay. Bob, I don't think you met Bob. And Bob, give us a little breakdown on you yourself. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's been a long.
He said, "Yeah."
That's
my man.
In 1988,
wow.
I was in Cal State University, Northridge, studying film under Alexis. We called her Dr. Crazy Love, Alexis Kresolowski. And she was a good writer, and she actually, taught a lot about understanding production. But I quickly learned, after being in film school for about a year and a half, 91, I left the building and I started working on music videos. And I learned a lot more working on music videos than I did in film. No, so the film process was awesome, partially because I learned how to touch acetate, right? How to touch the actual film itself and understand how to splice. I was learning how to do all kinds of stuff. And so I got to a point where I was like, look, I need to start doing stuff of my own. I went to school because I couldn't afford to go to NYU, so I got my blue basketball scholarship to go and play in California, and then I went and stayed on that. So I think from there, I worked a lot of the black television show circuit, the black music video land and commercial land. I worked on Moesha. I worked on television show Sister a long time ago, right? So then I started PAing with the interest of becoming an assistant director, and then I got into working under some ADs, and then becoming a second. So I worked through, but then in 1999 I decided, I was like, look, I need to start doing this stuff myself, the whole thing. I've understood the package and how it starts from ordering expendables to wrapping out and then doing production reports and the whole nine. So I started doing this stuff and trying to make my own. I started first doing documentaries, but I was a decent writer. I just was scared. Okay. Scared. And that's part of the reason why it's good to rub your stuff off on people. And for us to come together,
it's important. Very important.
You get a lot of experience dealing with, scripts, and I've written everything from episodics to, full-length features, a couple of different features. I hired myself out to do, features and write some stuff, and I felt like there was always going to be a blockade. Not everybody's accepted. It's a who you know business to a large degree, and that's why I think it's important for us to kind of collectively build with one another. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I mean, I'll remember and bring up other things as we go along the way, but
Okay.
which brings me to, that's how, Daryl and Drew are friends. They've been friends for a while. And,
Yeah.
Drew had this project, and I read it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. It's pretty current. And I started to look at it, and I was like, okay, I like this, And so ultimately, he wanted to make sure it was tight and make sure it was better, and so we worked on rewrite, and it's a good piece. It's not like anything done, but I was like, let's sizzle it up and make a couple of little things that and you need that, a different perspective, a different outlook for people's opinion, and sometimes, I don't know, Drew, you got to tell me, because we've we haven't had any bad interaction at all, but has it hurt? Like, does the criticism hurt?
No. I'm a newbie, and I'm a sponge. So I'm a newbie sponge. I'm listening to what you guys saying. You ran off your resume, so I would be arrogant and foolish not to at least hear what you got to say and then process it and use it.
Okay. Yeah, but I can speak from the standpoint of a writer that I didn't want anybody criticizing my work.
Right.
And it was really unintelligent. When I look back, because people they weren't like, this is trash. They were like, well, what happens when this person goes this? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No, but then again, you have two kinds of criticism too. Remember that you have one that's really hatred, that people like really, and then you have constructive criticism. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be. It's a balance type. You think what I'm saying? So you got to be ready for that too. Now, what's the name of the project?
My project is called DM.
DM mean what? What does it mean?
Yeah, right. So
right.
The kids, all of our kids know that when you're trying to be slick or you're trying to be sly,
you'll be on the DM.
Girl,
be in my DMs.
You're sliding into her DMs or sending her a direct message.
Right.
Correct. How many, to ask, how many drafts up to this date? How many drafts did you do in,
Yeah, I've done quite a few. Like Bob was saying, we've tossed it around and talked about different aspects, and Daryl's even pointed out some things where he said, what happens here, and make sure that you're including, so that the story is flowing and not leaving gaps where you go, well, how did you get from here to here? You see certain films, you'd be like, how did they get there without a transition? So Daryl was pointing that out, that make sure that you're seamless and you're writing your story. So we've written it over quite a few times. It's a process.
Everything got to be interconnected. You see what I'm saying? Everything got to be interconnected. Now, the challenge is now, cause all right, look, if you're writing, right, you're writing on with a pen and a paper, you're writing on a phone, you're writing on a computer, you're writing. How you're writing?
On computer, yep.
On the computer mostly.
Yeah.
But if you're not near the computer and a thought come to your mind, do you remember it? Do it lock in? Yeah, you retain
so
it?
I'll grab my phone. I'll be late night in bed. I'll grab my phone and just jot it down. And come back to it. Or I might even run down to my office here where I'm at now.
For real?
Throw a note up. Yeah, definitely.
And it's a balancing act mostly, because sometimes you could get trapped up. I get trapped up in writing sometimes, and I lose time. Oh wow, I don't know. I spent 3 hours in here in this room trying to get something. How you balance the balancing act? How that challenge get to you?
Yeah, it is exactly that challenge. But I think life dictates that as well, right? We all work. We all got families.
Correct.
And stuff like that.
Correct.
So, you look around, you go, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I better get a bit before I got.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. No, it is a balancing act, and you just gotta, like everything else, pay attention and look at where you are in your process and document, okay, I'm stopping here, and this is my last thought, and this is where I'm going to pick it up next.
Oh, okay. Brent, you have any questions for him before I jump on him again?
No, I'm just enjoying listening to the conversation, but I was just thinking about the feedback, or getting criticism and how difficult that is. And I mean, I know myself, I'm a shooter, but I'm also an editor. I edit most of my own stuff.
Oh wow.
And that's where it's really hard when you start getting notes or criticism or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially in my case, it's often from a paid client, right? So.
Oh wow. Yeah, you got to pay attention to that. Yeah, you can't pass that up.
And it is really hard, it is really hard to take criticism. Sometimes you get so emotionally attached to whatever it is you're creating.
True, because of you put so much into it.
Yeah, and when you're, in Bob's case, or sorry, Andrew's case, with the writing, you're writing alone, and then someone looks at your pages after it's done, and starts ripping it apart. Or in my case, I shoot everything. No one's really looking over my shoulder telling me what to shoot. But when I go to edit the video together, that's when the feedback comes in.
Oh wow!
And sometimes it's really hard at that process because you feel like, hey, you don't understand how much work I put in to get to this point.
That's my point. That's my point. That's my point.
You want to blow it up and tell me to change everything.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah, it's hard, but when you're getting feedback from people that know what they're talking about, it's extremely valuable, and you have to humble yourself. Yeah, it's really hard when you're in a position where sometimes you just have to suck it up and go, the client is always right. So fine.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
I kind of feel like we're being the writer of it. I know where my idea came from, and I know where I'm envisioning it. I can envision every scene in my head. So if I feel like people are veering off left or right, I can bring them back to center and be like, that's not exactly where I'm going with it. So it's helpful in that sense. But in like Brent was saying, if someone was paying, it was the other way around. You gotta bend a little
get
bit.
the money.
Right.
It's funny when you talked about learning or discovering new things, and you're kind of like on your way to work or doing different things. I really want to suggest this tool, and hopefully young independent filmmakers are doing this. I mean, AI is a beautiful thing, but the early kind of introduction of it, I met with Otter, and Otter writes what you say, and it writes the words down. And so if you're talking dialogue, then you have it. Especially when it's fresh. I'm not sure. A lot of creative people, and even us when we do. We shoot a lot of documentaries, and I try not to even ask people questions, because the first time they get that idea, it's just like, oh, you don't even understand. These guys were right around the corner. They'll never tell the story the same way.
Okay.
And so in the same way, when you're doing your writing and you're capturing that feeling that you got, you can put it in Otter and you can hear yourself, number one, like the passion with which you spoke. And at the same time, I think even Brent makes a great point. Like, there's nobody really watching over your shoulder, but sometimes I think the help of somebody actually being in there, sit up, pull up.
Makes sense.
I benefit like that.
It
from
makes sense
that with Daryl. Like Daryl would be like,
okay,
hold on, ain't you gonna ask him about so and so? I'll be like, oh yeah.
Okay.
But you get stuck on one point of the Bible or the script, and you're like, let's pull this. But it's always good. That's why that teamwork structure and what we're doing now is really key. It's understanding, helping people. What are the things I need to be thinking about when I'm making my movie? Nobody does this. The industry there's a couple of small, no film school and a couple other people, but everything costs money. Like, let's build with one another and say, yo, you got a film? Okay, great.
Okay, let's try it.
Send me 10 pages. I got time for 10 pages. And if you haven't got me by the 10 pages, I'll be like, tell me the rest of the story, because that 10 pages is not telling me what's going on. And so, but when it's dynamic and we can help each other, let's build, man. There's a lot of work out there.
Last week, Daryl was telling me something to the same effect, that we're not discussing the shopping part of it yet, but it's along the same line, meaning that if I'm presenting it, Daryl say if he be the first line and it ain't me, he gonna let you know.
Don't catch him.
I mean, to that point, I'm usually the person giving criticism or whatever, and even for that standpoint, for me, it's hard. It's kind of like, how do I say this to a way that is constructive and the person receives
and
it,
not offended, and not
and that's why even with Drew's project, I kind of brought Bob in, because him and I work very well together. Like we've sat down many of nights and built out a story, and he went back and wrote pages, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not feeling that. But him and I have a relationship, so what I say to him ain't really hurtful. He knows it's from the heart. But you're dealing with other folks, and you're dealing with people that you really don't know that well, then you got to kind of figure out how to say it to a point where it's going to be helpful.
And effective.
And effective. And I kind of, when I talk about things, I kind of move it around different platforms, and I take it as being like a coach on a basketball team. Like, if you're the coach and you got 10 different players, you got to reach each one of them a different way. Like,
because they're all different. Correct. It makes sense.
How to inspire them, how to get. That's why when you get teams, even in music and all that, like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, like these guys tend to work together for so many years because they don't really want to work with. I mean, they collab with other people, but they still come as a unit because it's just like, this is how we know how each other work. We know how to make a project better, even if it's not our project.
It's fluid. It's fluid with them. It's fluid. It comes from years of being around each other, I guess, too, though.
Nah, totally. And then it's just no matter, I always say, like in my one analogy with film is people are like, well, what do you think about this film? What do you think about that film? And I'm never the one to critique anybody's film because I'm like, I know how hard it is to make a film, period. So, and then I take back to the analogy of playing basketball. It's like, some people are Michael Jordan and some people will never be Michael Jordan, no matter how much they practice and how much they put into it. Correct. They still put in the work. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not for me to disparage people. It's for us to kind of encourage them and figure out, how to make it better and not hurt the project. So
correct. Daryl.
Yes.
You're the minute of the hour. Andrew, you're the minute of the hour. Andrew, explain why now that you're ready now to actually take it to the next level. Explain right, like at this moment in time, like, okay, now I'm ready to take the next step. Like, why break you like that?
So yeah, I mean, I think really society has dictated what's going on right now, right? Like everybody's an Insta famous. Everybody's on Facebook. Everybody's doing everything with social media. And I felt like this genre and this idea coupled with a romantic comedy would only be like one of those like Love Jones, like Notting Hill, one of those feelings that make you feel like this is it. This is what I want to see this movie. And when it comes on, you see it, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and watch this again because I feel like it would be one of those movies that you keep watching and you feel good about it, especially the way it like all comes together at the end. So I think it's timeless, and I really want to strike while the iron's hot, especially with social media. Because,
okay.
Is the thing that everybody's talking about.
It's a tool. It's a tool.
Great.
It's a valuable tool. It's a valuable tool. I mean, if you use it correctly.
To Andrew's point, it's a lifestyle. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
It's how they live.
People are making money off of it. People are, just by Instagram and all these other
platforms.
Dude, some people can't function without it.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. I think the I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if everything is like what's the word I'm looking for? Like the pandemic kind of helped that venue explode because then all you had to do was to stay home. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's what like really carried it to the next level.
Yep.
Brent, you hearing us now, Brent?
Oh yeah. I've been hearing it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I think that exploded. That made the media explode on that aspect. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a tool that could be used in all different kinds of ways. Like me and Bob was talking about the AI aspect, like we just spoke about just now, right? And to use it along with just your natural instinct and your natural form is helpful. I don't see why not. And like you say, it's a monetary thing now, so you got to use everything that's available. And remember now, these kids nowadays that's all it is with them. So reaching them through this venue. There's no other way to reach them. I mean, that's what it is.
Right.
You dig?
And they're starting to make. I have to research this. Maybe you guys know a little bit about it. They're doing movies now called verticals.
Yeah, verticals. Yeah, it's a whole
and
genre.
That's like the newest thing. Like, how does that work, Brent? Do you know anything about that?
But Brent told me about it a while ago.
Well, I mean, like literally, they're just shooting, with, the vertical format, so you can watch it on your phone, holding your phone in your hand, and they're meant to be consumed on the phones. But yeah, it's definitely an emerging industry, I would say, in the film world. But there are studios now that are doing nothing but verticals, and they're doing like the telenovelas and the Lifetime movie type stuff, and some of it's very cheesy, some of it's very edgy. If you look for it on YouTube, it's there's quite a bit available that you can see. And I just sort of stumbled upon this in the last couple of months myself, Andrew, and I was kind of like shocked at how much was deliberately being made as verticals, because I always assumed that we would be kind of in more of a hybrid world, because like the stuff I do, I still shoot old school 16 by 9, but the clients say, can you do a couple edits for social media, and so I know when I go in, okay, well I have to be able to at least pull something from my footage that will fit vertically on the phone.
Right.
Okay.
But that's how I still approach every project like that. But there are projects that from the first page that's being written is being done as a vertical project, and so these things will never be seen on a television or
dig it. Yeah, dig it.
Never be seen.
Let me tell you a story.
phone.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Facts. That's facts.
About, I'd say 8 to 6 years ago, we were doing the Fatherhood Image Film Festival, and in the Fatherhood Image Film Festival, any stories about father, love him, hate him, get reunited with him, whatever was the thing. And we opened up a category called films made on your phone. It was too early.
Oh wow!
It was too early.
Wow!
I mean, at one point we had we had screened over 700 films at different times, and we went through.
Oh my God!
And it was challenging because I had a bigger committee at that time.
Okay.
But it was something where we really felt that there was going to be a boom. I just probably should have stuck with the verticals a lot sooner. I mean, I'm sorry, a lot longer. Longer.
You shouldn't have let it go.
Yeah, it's still doable.
It's still doable. Yeah. And you have it in the packages, so again, you can just pull some of those up and be back at it again.
Oh yeah.
If you like, you got the time. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What's the weather like down here?
It just rained. I'm sitting outside. It's nice.
Yeah, we raining in New York too.
Yeah, but it's over here.
Yeah.
I want to stay on Drew for a second and see.
Okay, go back to Drew.
In the scope of what you're thinking, what in your mind, and I know a little bit more about the detail, but I really want to flesh it out and have some other eyes here. What's your next steps? What do you feel like your next steps are?
Yeah, my next steps, honestly, I got to talk to my team, who I think they're on here with me. But I'd like to get my sizzle reel done. I like to get to that point where I can put it together and I have something that I can present where someone can look at it, whether it's 2-3 minutes, whatever it is, like they can get the full idea of, like a trailer, I guess, right? Where I
like a trailer, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see enough of it without giving out the whole plot. I've watched the trailer and know the whole movie. I don't even have to watch the movie because I saw the trailer. Mm-hmm. But I would like to get it to a point where I like to get that shot, and so I can start, shopping it and working it to a point where it's nice and tight. We talked about it a lot, about having things tight,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You want to share a little something that you learn along the way that's like a tip or something, like for some of my people that's listening or will be checking on the episode a little further, like something that's you learn along the way that's helpful.
Yeah, I think we covered a little bit. Trust yourself. Trust in your belief. We talked about criticism. Criticism doesn't necessarily have to derail you. Mm-hmm. You can use it as a tool. You don't have to be hurt by it. You can take it, process it, and say, well, out of what Bob said, he hurt me, but I was able to take these tidbits and say, I can use this, I can discard that. So believe in yourself and believe what you did, especially if you, like me, wrote this from the beginning. You want to be able to stay true to yourself.
Yeah, Daryl kind of said the same thing too. That's what he said. Mostly say, if you're gonna write, just write. If you're gonna write. Don't stop. Don't get distracted. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't get derailed. And don't get derailed. There's a movie named Derailed, right? Don't get derailed. Don't. The outside noise sometimes is it could affect you in a negative form. You understand? Like I say, you know what I mean. So you got to stand firm with it. Now,
the keys to working together, I think one of the things is, people be like, yeah, I got to keep it 100. Nah, you don't want to damage the creative, flow in a person. You want to enhance it. So you want to ask questions. Questions is always key, because questions say, well, what about this? What did he do when this happened? And it allows them to arrive at conclusions that may improve the script or may improve the story or the scene or whatever in a way that allows them to arrive at it. Like when Drew says, I heard him, I know it's going to hurt, but I wasn't like, yo, man, I just got to keep it real with you. That ain't what it's about. You know what I'm saying? He's got a brilliant idea. And so I'm like, okay, how can we fan this in the flame? You know?
Most important now is the audience now. Most important is the audience. Like you say, you're getting the trailer together, and I think that's leading up into like trying to capture the audience, because I think that's the finality of it all.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Last week, Darren said something very important to me last week. He said that it might not be the first one. It might not be the second movie. It might not be the third movie. But the thing about having so much things in the package is that, okay, one could get picked up and it will carry over to the rest. You see what I'm saying? Yep. It's not like, okay, you're going to stop because there's one and this one didn't do some or like Bob was saying, it's not probably the time for this thing. It's not the time for that thing. Right now it's the time for DM.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you can attack it fully. But in the meantime, doesn't mean that, okay, you're going to stop right. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you're going to stop right.
Nope.
And then the next thing is to the ideas, the genres. Like, okay, I don't see no more westerns.
I worked on that. I got a crazy Western idea.
Okay, I know. Okay. I got you. Okay.
It's funny that you said that. It's funny that you said that.
Yeah, no, I'm just like looking at the whole scope of everything. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Brent, let me ask you something, Brent. As far as sound, capturing sound, which is like, as much as important. We was talking about the music aspect, because in a few we're going to be having artists on here that's going to be involved with some of the projects that we're doing, right? But as far as capturing that certain sound, as far as using a studio instead of like a real locale, as far as green screen instead of like a real locale, how is that effective in the process? How explain a little bit about that to me.
Well, one of the things we often say is that sound's actually more important than video. The viewers can forgive video that's not perfect, but if the audio isn't, and if the audio, it's so much harder to follow a story if you're struggling to hear.
Right.
You can follow a story. I mean, in fact, sometimes creatively things are shot in a way that they're trying to obscure things, and things get revealed later visually and stuff like that. And that's actually part of the experience of watching a film. But no one's going to sit through a scene where people are mumbling, or there's like traffic that's drowning out the dialogue or something like that, because it's just so frustrating because you don't know what's going on. And it's kind of getting off on a little bit of a tangent, but I noticed that one of the things now is that a lot of people are watching programs with subtitles on, and I don't know if that's because of attention span deficiencies or the environments that we watch things in now. Maybe we're watching stuff in lively, noisy rooms where there's, people talk around you. That's
there's 4 or 5 people watching something else on the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I know. A lot of times, I'll turn the subtitles on just because if my dogs bark in the middle of a scene or something, I don't want to have to rewind and
Explain it to Bob. Explain it to Bob.
But to get back to your question, how important? Sound is so important, and I don't know where you guys are shooting your stuff, but man, in Belize, sound is probably the biggest challenge we have.
Oh, for real?
Belize is a noisy place, especially Belize City. Motorcycles, trucks, music, dogs. It is so hard.
Yeah, how do you filter out all of that? How do you filter that out? That's my question.
It's really tough, and
it's challenging.
It's one of the biggest challenges, whether it's like, if I'm doing a local video for, just like a local client and we have to interview somebody, trying to find, and they want to do it outdoors somewhere. Well, God help me trying to find a place that's quiet enough where we can do the interview. But also for like, the visiting, like foreign crews that come in and, there's a scene that has to take place in, in a neighborhood or something like that. Well, there's always going to be somebody with their music blasting. Anytime in Belize, there'll always be that, and it's like, well, I know there's copyright issues, but also, culturally, like, you're not going to get this guy to turn off his music on Sunday morning because that's his thing, So yeah, sound is a challenge, but it is super important. Now, as you're asking about, like, doing, I guess, overdubbing and studio versus, I'm a big fan of like organic environments. Having said what I said about how difficult it is to get audio in the field, I would much prefer. As soon as I know something's if I can tell that it's been dubbed over, it's ADR.
They lost.
They've lost me. And in fact, not everybody watches stuff as critically as we do, but sometimes you're watching a scene and you know that the cutaway, they've used the audio from a different take. Just the way the back of their head moves or something.
Yeah, correct. You catch it. You catch
lips. Like I'm gone. I'm like, nope.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It turns you off. It turns you off. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's because it's destroyed the
essence.
the fantasy.
The essence of it. Yeah.
It takes me out of that. It takes me out of that moment where I believe that I'm in that scene with these guys.
Well, when talking about sound, it's super important, right? Like, but it's important. Like we talked about having a crew and having people that do one job. You want a sound that does one job.
We
some of
spoke about that.
We had these Russian guys, and we were shooting all over the place. We were shooting in the Bronx. We were shooting everywhere. But they had tools for everything. Like they had the proper, most people that's doing sound, they don't really have all the tools.
Point the mic in.
You know what I'm saying? To point the mic, the boom the mic.
Boom, the boom the mic,
And it's just really, having the right tools and having the right people doing the right thing. So, when you're hiring your crew, your sound crew is just as important as your camera crew, man. Like, and just as important as your scenics and your set design and everybody else. Like, you can't cut corners on that at all.
No, it's not gonna. The end project won't be the same. The end project won't be the same.
Once you don't have sound, you don't have sound. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now you got to go try to create sound, like Brendan's saying, and use the stuff in an ADR and in this and that and all that. But that's just not the way to go. You just want to have a sound crew that knows what they're doing and has all the tools to make it work in any environment.
Yeah, and in the television world, that's one of the corners that's been cut, to try and save money. Is a lot of crews are coming in now without sound. It's like, put a wireless on the camera.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask. Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask.
And you can get by, but you're just
It's not organic.
Really,
it's not
really-
organic.
well, it's, I mean, it's fine for your dialogue and stuff, but where you really notice you're missing it is when you just need atmosphere and you don't have it.
Mm.
And so like take for example, I mean, if it's I don't know, like a show like 90 Day Fiancé, well, it really doesn't matter because it's just two people having a fight 90% of the time, and as long as you've got clean audio from each of them going back to camera, it's all good. But then I say another show that I work on a lot, like Naked and Afraid. Well, there's a lot of stuff that is really heavy, like dialogue driven. Actually, considering it's actually a survival adventure type show, but a lot of it's really about what these people are talking about all the time, and they're hearing their grunts and groans and their agony and that kind of stuff. And sound is super important for that show, but also filling in everything so that you get the atmosphere. You hear the sounds of the jungle. You hear the sounds of the jungle at night. Things like that you're not going to get unless you've got like some of the best sound guys I've ever worked with are on that show, because they will go out there by themselves at 3 o'clock in the morning just to get the sound of what the jungle sounds like at 3, because there may be a scene that we get with some really grainy security camera type footage of the two people sitting in their shelter talking about how miserable they are, and they want to have that atmosphere to go in there. So maximum respect for the guys that do that, because it's a real commitment, but like that's the craft, right? So and they really care about Foley. They do. They will. I mean, some of these guys, I've seen some of these, they'll do Foley in the field. Like we did a scene. So let's say we did a Naked and Afraid episode, and we did a scene yesterday where one of the guys is trying to cut down, trees to build his shelter or whatever. And the next day, the audio guy, he's got 20 minutes with nothing to do. He'll grab a machete and find the same type of tree, and he'll just get some Foley of him whacking that tree with the machete to make sure that they've got it for post.
Right.
Okay. For post production. Correct.
Can I say one thing? I think we have to really realize, and this is what most people who've been around for a while. The television audience has grown savvy. They've grown more savvy in understanding what should be done, and they've become critical. So when you do this type of thing, it needs to be good and top notch. Let me tell you how many times my wife, I swear I told her, I was like, look, honey, we work on big budget film. I'm hiring you for continuity. You know how many mistakes are in Ocean's 11? And I'm just like, and these are big budget films, but I'm like, I can see, first of all, he's holding the cocktail, and then he has a plate, and then like there's a ton of different switches and stuff that happens, and I'm like, what? Why did they do that? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Why are you gonna leave the uniforms in the elevator? Like, who does that? Of course, you had to see them take it. Like you are thinking all the time about different films. Yeah, that you see stuff, and you're like, nope, that's not right. And then
that can't happen.
Right, but we watched it so many times that's how we watch, because it's one of our favorite films. But I'm like, okay, that's great, but somebody's messing up. Somebody's not working anymore.
You got a critical. I don't think the actual regular audience would notice some of the things that you, as a filmmaker, would. You got a critical eye and a critical ear, so you will be catching up to something like that.
Yeah. Some people do. A lot of people do.
Yeah, that's just television watching.
Yeah. I be catching a couple things.
Quick story. When I was a kid, I was just telling the story the other day. We were watching, when you guys remember the film Children of the Corn?
Yeah.
So there's a scene where the car pulls up and they're at an intersection, and you can see the reflection of the entire crew in the
fire
car.
film.
Oh wow! I was like, I could see the whole entire crew. I was like,
there's a lot of that.
Years old when that movie.
Oh my God!
The whole thing, yeah.
But there's a lot of that.
I see the movie with Arnold where the car crashed, right? And in the next scene, it's a new car. I'm like, wait a minute, the car just crashed, but like it's happening so fast, like like wow. But you have mistakes, baby. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the opposite of that, though, Bob. Have you guys all seen the documentary with Michael J. Fox on Apple TV?
I haven't seen it yet.
No.
I think it's called. It's fantastic. It's basically about his living with Parkinson's and whatnot. And it's incredible. Like, I mean, it's really a fabulous documentary. Highly recommend anyone should see it. But we're talking about attention to detail, right? So there's the montage at the beginning of the film that talks about Michael J. Fox's childhood. Now, Michael J. Fox grew up in Vancouver, which is where I'm from, in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And Fox and I are about the same age. So I'm watching this opening montage, and he's out there playing road hockey on the street, and the clothes that and this is all recreated. This wasn't like home video, but it was made to look like home video. But it was this was recreations that was done, and the attention to detail by the production designers and the art department was incredible. So not just like the clothes that they're wearing and the type of cars that they were, or the type of hockey sticks, and they had like, I mean, the Super Blade, which if you're a Canadian kid of like my age, you would know what a Super Blade is. Like they had everything, like every little detail. But the one thing that blew my mind, there's this aerial shot, this drone shot. He talks about, so one summer I convinced my dad to drive me to Los Angeles so I could go to some auditions. And there's this drone shot of an old like 1970s station wagon going down the highway, like in the mountains somewhere. And this is supposed to be a recreation of Fox and his dad driving to California. And the drone kind of flies close over the station wagon, and you can see the license plate, and the license plate was blue. And I'm watching it with my wife, and I went, holy crap. And she's like, what? I said, whoever was like in charge of production design and art department here there's so much research. Right. They knew that British Columbia had blue license plates until 1976 or something like that, or 78. I remember that as a kid, because I remember when my parents, got new license plates, they put a new logo on it, and they were white now, and the old blue license plates were retired. Wow. I hadn't thought of that in 50 years. Yeah.
Wow. See, and that's a feeling. That's the creation of a feeling. Wow. It touched you, and you knew you could verify what you saw.
You could relate.
Like, wait a minute, they got that right. First of all, it's a drone shot, so but you don't get lost in that. You see the license plate.
And the fact is, like, that little detail would not matter to probably 99% of the audience.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Somebody, I'm imagining this situation, but somewhere in a
deliberate
pre-production meeting, somebody said, "Hey, we got to get it. We need a blue license plate for the station wagon for that scene." And somebody says, "What difference does it make what color the bloody license plate is?" But somebody was like, "No,
doing their job.
Like,
that's what they do.
We're going to be authentic."
So, but with that said,
right down to the color of the license plate.
I know our time is going to be limited here in a little bit.
My time is not limited. We good. You go ahead.
All right, we good. So I really wanted to get the idea from Drew, like, considering what all you've been through, what was the hardest scene for you to write, or that gave you the most trouble to complete and make good to perfect?
Yeah, I would say the scenes where their relationship started to fracture. Where they started to have their relationship issues, right? Because I'm happy-go-lucky dude, so I want everything to be happy, but life is not that way, as we know, right? Especially with men and women, and then their dynamic where he's a quote-unquote ordinary guy, and she's a celebrity, so she could easily be looking down on him, and I try to level that playing field, and it kind of added to the drama, because then she caught herself where she started to go down that road, and he caught her. He's like, wait a second, I'm still a guy, I'm still a man, and so that dynamic there where they were going back and forth was kind of trying to, and you think back to your relationships, right? We've all had an argument with a woman once, twice, or 3 times in our lives, right? So I kind of drew from that, and it was kind of tough to try and translate that over to the script.
To the script, yeah.
Yeah, I think that goes even to what Brent was saying. Like, there are portions of that. I think about you saying, I'm still a man. You know what I'm saying? You're a celebrity, but I'm still a man. And those nuances are things that, whether it doesn't have to be him saying the word, it could
conveying
be,
the thought.
you know, a shift in his stance. It could be his closeness to her and those different things. And I just want to commend you because, you know, writing is hard.
Yeah.
But I want to commend you to continue to look into those things because that's the nuances that will relate to men. You know, there's only men on here. Hopefully in the future we'll have some female filmmakers as we really continue to do Make Your Movie Mondays. And we want to encourage you. You know, I was gung ho about you getting on here because you're in it. You know, you're in it. You're in the process right now. And there are a ton of people who have scripts and stuff that they're in a shoebox somewhere.
Yeah.
Go get your shoebox and talk through some of this stuff, and we can help. I love the fact that Brent is here as well. And
Brent gonna be here regular. He gonna be here regular.
Yeah.
That's my.
So
that's my dude. That's my dude.
All the ends of it, you know, all the time.
More angles.
I wanted to put forth too the idea. You know, we know a lot of musicians, and I wanted at some point. And we get a lot of talking going on, so it's here. We might, I don't know if we're going to extend this or what, but I think we need to play some of the music and have like a 2 to 3 minute break play, because there's a lot of people out here. You know, the industry is totally different now, but I think there's a lot of really good music out, and if people want to put music in their films, you know, we got relationships, like I told you, with different people, with Sadat and, you know, Brand Nubian and, you know, the LONS crew and, you know, different people, great producers, great music supervisors. Let's bring everybody together because that's what this is about, right? See why?
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Making the movie Mondays is what it's about. But I love to have Brent. Brent is cool. Brent's gonna be here with me because, you know, we need his guidance. You know, Daryl. But I don't see why Andrew, more than likely, you gonna be repeated on here too, so don't worry about it. As we grow, we gonna grow.
It's your last rodeo.
Give some updates on the process.
As we move along. Daryl, what's up, Daryl?
My sizzle shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. We mentioned it. You know what? We're gonna keep you comfortable. We're gonna keep asking for that until it's done. You be like, yo, what's up? And when it's done, we're gonna present it to who's supposed to get it to. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Daryl, what's up, Daryl? Talk to me. What we doing?
We just flowing, man. Like, you know, I'm here to support, and
all right,
whatever information I can part, like, I'm down for it, man.
Cool, man. I appreciate you so much. Brent, I appreciate you a lot.
Not a heavy talker, but you know, I'm down.
Me.
Daryl. Daryl is not a heavy talker, but he profound. When he say something, everybody listen.
What they say, who was the people that when they talk, they listen? It's funny. Dean Witter. I remember Dean Witter.
When he talk, he listen. Yeah, that's cool, man. Next week we're gonna have an overview of what we're doing, so we're gonna present it to everybody when we come on. I have Brent. I think Frank might be coming on really in a little while to talk about what you taught him. Frank Spooner.
Oh, cool. Oh, awesome.
That'd be awesome. You know what I mean? He said I think he moved. He said something. He relocated or something. I think recently. I'm not sure.
I think he was in California or something.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, like that. Yeah. So we're gonna bring him on, but we have a little crew lined up, and we welcome you anytime. And whenever you get some free time, you should come on. I will have we should have somebody on the lawyer side. You understand? Mr. Jeff Antin should be coming in shortly. We'll be talking about him as far as, like, you know what I mean, getting that part of it too, because we want to get it from all angles, like we say, you know. And we just got to keep improving and help each other out. And we're gonna be seeing some great movement from us. I believe in us. Any last words from you guys until next week? Anything you want to say, Brent?
Not really. Just thank you so much for inviting me. It was great to meet these guys. I kind of joined in a little bit late, so I didn't get to find out a little bit about each of them at the beginning. But are you guys part of, like, the Belizean diaspora, or
no?
It's just
none of these guys is Belizean. Yeah, none of these guys Belizean.
I didn't know this is a whole Belize thing or what.
No. We branching out. We branching out. We branching out.
All right. Well, let me just put a plug in. Maybe you should think about shooting your films in Belize. So
Hey.
when you're ready,
Oh,
let
yeah,
me know
yeah.
because we'd love to have you down
I'd
here.
love to do
I
that.
co-produced a film that was shot in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Belize is the best place right now, though. Belize is cool to shoot.
Hey, we're open.
Okay.
In case we'll travel. You know, D shot in the Dominican Republic and a bunch of spots, but D been all over the world, y'all. He been to
Believe.
Ireland. He been to about 5 different places in Africa. He's been to Brazil. So
Switzerland.
he's like a built-in location scout producer because you know been everywhere.
But you gotta go to Belize. We gotta do something in Belize.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, couple of the,
on this joint.
Brent, couple of the joints I'm writing it has a lot to do with Belize. So hopefully we could get you know the ones I write got a lot to do with Belize.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get to that one. And I'm trying to catch up to
Hey,
I'm trying to catch up to Andrew.
Incentives, travel and shooting incentives. In Belize.
Yeah,
Let
well,
us know.
you know, you know what? CY, that could be a whole another topic we can get into is the
you go along.
incentives and the lack of incentives and how that's holding
Okay, copy.
becoming
Copy.
a destination for film because that's
Yeah,
something we've
copy.
been struggling with for. Man, well,
Yeah.
I've been in that fight for over 15
Wow.
years of
Okay,
various
wow.
film
Okay.
commissioners about how we need to get film like actual
Yeah, I remember
incentives in place, and it's just talk. It's always been talk, and
yeah. I think
we're working on something. But
yeah, all right. Dogs of War was shot in Belize. I think Dogs of War with Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was shot in Belize. And I think Clinton put a light burn did a couple things in Belize. Nigel Miguel did a couple things in Belize. Them guys did a couple great movies down in Belize. You know, but Belize
there's been a few kind of like movie of the week type stuff, like Hallmark and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That have been done in Placencia. A few of them were shot in Placencia, a couple in San Pedro, and then of course the last sort of like major feature film was what's it called, Blood something or other. It's the one with Michael Douglas's son.
Okay.
So there's a father and son go on a fishing tournament, and they shot like all the fishing tournament stuff they shot in Belize. So it's kind of
cool.
Most of it shot in the States, but they shot for a few weeks in Belize for the scenes that they needed to be actually in Belize for this fishing tournament. So
okay.
blood something or other, I can't remember. I didn't work on it, but I heard it turned out pretty well. So a lot
I will look into it and see.
Locally got employed for a while in that, so that's awesome.
Okay, I will look into it and see.
And if y'all on and you're listening and you have some music, we might be putting forth some music to vote on for an opening for this show for Making Movie.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. We discussed that. Yeah, we gonna put that out there. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
Blessings, everybody.
Thank you. All right.
Making Movie Mondays. It is what it is. Making Movie Mondays. Peace and love, bro. Peace and love. There you go.
breeze make no riot. So they make noise easy. See why alongside Wavy and my boy, YG. We don't need no gimmick for to make the lyrics public. We don't need no fire pan, no stick, make it ball like a wind. Gonna jump up in the air, sound by beat.